How's it going, fish fam? Those of y'all who are new to my channel, my name's Austin, and this is Fintastic Freaks. And yes, as the title can show you, as does the thumbnail, today we are going to talk about the figure 8 puffer. And while yes, I like all sorts of puffers, figure 8s are easily one of my favorites. As you can see here, they're absolutely beautiful with that pattern on their back, their coloration and such. And another thing I really like about these guys is it's a puffer that doesn't really get all that big either. However, figure 8 puffers are arguably one of the most debated puffer species out there for a lot of different reasons. While some of them put them in community tanks, some people are dead set against that. And of course, the biggest one, or the elephant in the room, is this a true freshwater puffer, or is this a brackish water puffer? So with all that said, today's video, guys, I'm gonna give you my figure 8 puffer care guide. So the figure 8 puffer, which is also somewhat commonly known as an eye spot puffer, is native to parts of southern and southeast Asia. And if you look at the side, or even on their backs more so, you won't have to think too long or hard about why they got their names, because it looks like they kind of got little eye spots or even figure 8s on their back. And for that exact reason, that's kind of why figure 8s are one of my favorite puffers out there. Just that beautiful coloration. They got the white creamy belly and the dark brown to more of a blackish, honestly, on their back, with those vibrant yellow markings. And while we're talking about positives for this puffer, another one I like is they don't get very big. 3 to 4 inches is about it for these little guys. While they still pack a big personality, those of you that have the smaller tanks out there, like say a 40 breeder, 29 or a 38, this could be an awesome puffer for that tank of yours if you're looking to get into puffer keeping. Oh, but we're just getting started with this fish here, guys. Another thing that's really good about these puffers is that yes, you can have multiple of them inside one aquarium, just like a pea puffer, an Amazon puffer, or a green spotted puffer per se. And as you can see and have seen probably throughout the video earlier, this is another puffer that perhaps you can consider putting Tankmates with if you're feeling adventurous. But of course, just like any other puffer out there, these guys do present some challenges. Now, if you're thinking of keeping multiple figure 8 puffers in one tank, some people will tell you 10 gallons per puffer, or some will tell you 15 or 20 gallons for the first puffer, and then another 10 or so for the next 1+ puffer. I would personally say that either one of those rules would work well. I personally had my trio initially in a 29 gallon tank here, so you could even put like 3 inside a 29 gallon, which is close to about 10 gallons per puffer. It also partially depends on how you do your aquascape and such. If you got like multiple things in there, breaking up the line of vision and like multiple little caves and nooks where they can hide and get away from each other. If one gets a little temperamental or aggressive, then that's gonna increase your chances of success for keeping multiple of these puffers in one tank. In terms of water parameters, the figure 8 puffer likes the higher 70s or so usually. I try to keep mine around the 78 degrees, give or take, in the water temperature. They also really don't mind too much about the hardness or the softness. If anything, they don't mind their water being a little bit more hard. But of course, when it comes to water parameters, there's the big question, or the elephant in the room, and that's, are these guys freshwater or brackish water? Yes, it is true. Figure 8 puffers can live in freshwater, but it's better if they only live in freshwater for a certain period of time. Mostly just for their juvenile stages while they're young and growing up. Some of you that have been around on my channel will remember my figure 8s were not always in brackish water. We'll talk about the brackish parameters here in a minute. But initially when I got these 3, I had them in true freshwater. And while they weren't hurting or suffering at all in the freshwater, they also weren't fully grown just yet. And don't get me wrong, once they're in the adult stage, they can also stay in the freshwater for a little bit. But if they stay in freshwater for too long, it can shorten their overall lifespans. And this is something that gives the odd perception of people thinking that figure 8s are a true freshwater puffer. Whereas honestly, if they live in a brackish water tank for more of their lives, then these guys can almost live to nearly 10 years old. So some of you perhaps this whole thing might just be a little bit confused and be like, okay, how can they live in freshwater but also thrive in water with salinity as well? Well, it traces back to their natural habitats. As I said earlier, the figure 8 puffer, aka the eye spot puffer, is native to parts of southern and southeast Asia. And throughout that water area there is the Mekong River and the Gulf of Thailand. Obviously the Mekong River is freshwater, but the Gulf of Thailand, of course, has salinity. So as they migrate through those different waters and such, as you can imagine, as they go throughout the Mekong River versus the Gulf of Thailand, the salinity of the water that they swim in varies. Full freshwater to almost full-on marine level water. Thank you for joining me on this marine biology TED Talk. In terms of specific salinity, I keep my figure 8 puffers currently at 1.011 specific gravity. However, when I first moved them over from freshwater, I started them a little bit lower at 1.008. And then bumped them up 1,000th of a specific gravity degree, whatever you want to call it, I guess, per month, and it's worked pretty well there. They made the transition very well. And as you can also see, yes, mollies can also live in brackish water too. Consider that a little bonus fact. So just like a lot of other puffers in terms of their diet, they'll enjoy meaty foods as well as they also need those hard and crunchy foods. So anything like shrimp, snails, small little crabs, and crustaceans will be appreciated, as that'll help trim down their continuously growing beak-like teeth. If, of course, that gets too big, just like any other puffers, that can create certain health problems. And if their teeth even get too big, it can almost stop them from eating, which obviously can lead to all sorts of problems on its own. The more varied of a diet you can give them, the better. So if they can also accept pellet food, which as you can see here, they're taking down some Vibrobites as I record. While it should not be done regularly over the meaty foods or the hard shell food or crustaceans and such, it's alright once in a while give them if your puffers are willing to accept it. And of course, the other giant elephant in the room here that you've probably noticed here is, can figure 8 puffers go with other tankmates that are not other figure 8 puffers? Short answer, you can. Longer answer, you can, but proceed with caution. Initially, I was gonna tell you guys about what you could do to maybe try tankmates with your puffers, but honestly, guys, that's a conversation that could make a whole nother video. So if you would like to know about how I introduce tankmates with my figure 8 puffers here, as well as some other puffer fish down here, go ahead and let me in the comments know below if you'd like me to do a little video about that. But with that said, guys, go ahead and let me know if you like this video, if you like this little care guide and tip video. Give this video a thumbs up. And of course, leave a comment below. Did you like the information I got? What was the most helpful? Or maybe I forgot to mention something here and you feel like it's important to mention? Make sure you throw that in the comments below. We're all in this together here. And if you're new and have not done so already here on my channel, consider clicking the subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything I do. More care guides on various fish such as this here in the near future. Public aquarium visits, fish store visits, convention visits, all sorts of stuff coming up here on the channel here. Obviously, still got those big tanks coming. I promise, they are coming. And all sorts of awesome stuff that I can't wait to share with you guys here on this channel. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video and all the continued support. It truly means so much to me. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I will see you all in my next video, Fish Fam. Stay fantastic.